You can heal your life. Louise Hay. In 1978, a woman was told she had cancer. She didn't do chemo. She didn't do surgery. Instead, she spent 6 months doing something that sounds almost too simple to work. She sat in front of a mirror and talked to herself. 6 months later, doctors couldn't find the tumor. That woman was Louise Hay, and the book she wrote afterward has sold over 50 million copies and basically created the entire affirmation industry you scroll past on Instagram every day. Today we're breaking down what's actually in this book. The parts that are genuinely useful, the parts that are, let's say, scientifically shaky, and why, love it or hate it, you cannot talk about self-help without talking about this book. Before she was the queen of affirmations, Louise Hay's life was rough. Poverty, a broken home, abuse as a child, an abusive marriage in her 20s. She rebuilt herself, became a model in New York, then found her way into a spiritual counseling practice through the Church of Religious Science. And then came the diagnosis: cervical cancer. Instead of going straight into conventional treatment, she made a call that still makes doctors nervous to this day. She delayed it and spent 6 months on a self-designed healing program, nutritional cleansing, therapy, and confronting decades of buried resentment toward the people who had hurt her. She says, when she went back, the cancer was gone. True or not, this story is the engine behind the entire book. And whatever you believe about it, understand this. Everything else in the book flows directly out of it. So what's the actual theory? Every thought you think is creating your future. That's basically the entire book in one sentence. Hay believed most of us are running on autopilot, repeating beliefs we picked up as kids. Things like, I'm not good enough. Money is hard to come by. People always leave me. And we never stop to ask if any of that is even true. We just keep proving it right, over and over, without noticing we're the ones writing the script. But here's the part that made this book famous and controversial. Hay took it a step further and said physical illness is often the body's way of expressing an emotional pattern. A stiff neck. Maybe you're refusing to see someone else's point of view. Throat problems? Maybe you're swallowing your feelings instead of speaking them. Bad knees. Maybe it's stubborn pride or fear of change. The book literally includes a chart pairing illnesses with emotional causes. This chart is the single most shared and single most argued about page in the entire book. We'll come back to why. Okay, so if your thoughts are the problem, how does Hay say you actually fix it? This is the part people actually use. So let's slow down here. Step 1. Find the old belief. Usually she has you trace it back. Something a parent said, a painful moment, a pattern that's been passed down in your family for generations without anyone questioning it. Step 2. Take responsibility, without blame. This one's important. Hay is very clear. Realizing you built the pattern is not the same as it being your fault. She actually warns that guilt just becomes another limiting belief, a trap inside the trap. Step 3. Forgive, especially yourself. She treats resentment like it's physically toxic, something that sits in the body and causes real damage over time. A huge chunk of the book is just working through anger toward parents, exes, and your own younger self. Step 4. Replace it with an affirmation. Short, present tense, positive. Repeat it on purpose until it starts to actually feel true instead of fake. And then there's the exercise she's most known for, mirror work. You stand in front of a mirror. You look yourself directly in the eyes, and you say words of love and acceptance to yourself, out loud. I'll be honest, the first time you try this, it feels ridiculous. Hay knew that. She said that discomfort is actually the whole point. It's showing you exactly which beliefs are standing in the way. So why did this book explode the way it did? First, it's radically hopeful. It tells people who feel stuck or broken that the way out is available to them. right now, for free, starting today. Second, it's simple. No therapist required. No special training. Just a mirror and repetition. Third, it took emotional wounds seriously. In 1984. Remember, this came out in a decade where talking about childhood trauma in self-help books wasn't really the mainstream conversation yet. Hay was early. Now the part we can't skip. The criticism. The biggest issue people have, including a lot of doctors, is the implication that illness is caused by bad thinking. Followed to its logical end, that framing can slide into blaming sick people for their own disease, which is exactly the trap Hay says she's trying to help people avoid. Kind of an irony baked right into the book. And her own recovery story, powerful as it is, can't really be separated from other explanations. Misdiagnosis, coincidence, treatment she may not have fully disclosed. And that illness to emotion chart? Genuinely, no medical research backs up specific pairings like this cancer equals this exact emotional wound. So where do most readers land today? Somewhere in the middle. They take the psychological tools seriously. Self-compassion, forgiveness, catching your own negative self-talk. And treat the illness causation stuff as more of a metaphor than a medical claim. So here's the one thing I'd actually pull out of this whole book, skeptic or believer. The way you talk to yourself is a habit. And habits can be changed. You don't have to believe you can cure cancer with a mirror to test that idea for yourself. Just notice what you say to you for one day. That's it. That's the whole experiment. If you want me to go deeper, maybe break down the full mind-body illness chart, or do a video on whether affirmations actually have any science behind them, let me know in the comments. See you in the next one.